coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Hey man, shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. You already know what's coming. I appreciate the support. We out here, we banging them out, man. 33 years of prison stories. Trying to feed the positive, starve the negative, man. Trying to, let these young kings and queens know that their life is way, way, way too important and too valuable to throw it away in the penitentiary, man. Trust and believe me, been there, done that, and we on a mission, man. We on a mission to try to, give them the proper information so they can make the proper decisions out here and go on in life and become what they was intended to be. And that is something great. Something great. It's something great in all of us, man. We just got to know how to get to it, And that's our mission. That's what we doing. Appreciate the love. TBP Nation for holding me down, man. Y'all share these videos, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let's run it up. 200K is our next stop. Let's go. Let's get it. TBP Nation, man. Big love all the time. Oh, man. Today, man, I was just thinking in my mind, about just different situations that I've been through and different things that I've been through. And I know I've spoke on this before about me and Dixon, man. Me and Dixon have had some crazy, crazy times in the penitentiary, man. But that's my road dog, man. That's my brother, and it's like, when you dealing with somebody, man, where y'all so cool and y'all really like family that, you willing to put your life on the line for them and they willing to put their life on the line for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's real rare when you in the penitentiary or you anywhere, even out here on the street, when somebody, they rock with you that much. You understand? A lot of people say they do, but a lot of people won't show up when it's time to show up. And I think the whole time that I knew Dixon, man, and me and him, was locked in like brothers, man. I never had to worry about if I had an issue with anybody or he had an issue with anybody that we won't, hold each other down no matter what, no matter what came, if it was life, death, or whatever. We, we just was locked in and we was just thugging it out together like that, man. And one of the main situations that I can remember we got was we both got charged with conspiracy to commit murder, right? They gave us this charge, man, which was crazy for real. It didn't go out on the street, because I don't think they would have accepted that in nobody's courtroom where they would have, officially gave us that type of charge. This was some penitentiary charge, but they charged us with this in the penitentiary. And they convicted both of us of that. So that's on both our record in the penitentiary, which I think, looking back on it in retrospect, I think it played a major part in, like making parole and stuff like that, because you got that in your file that you was plotting or planning to kill somebody in the penitentiary, which was a lie. You know what I'm saying? For y'all listening, it was bogus. Now, was we talking about, doing some damage to the dude? Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. And if I can remember correctly, man, it was some dude that Dixon had a beef with prior to, this institution. It was prior to me even knowing him. But now, being that me and him had became like brothers, you know what I'm saying? His beef was my beef, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa. So at this particular time, if I remember, Dixon wasn't in the block with me. He was in another block, right? He had got to rumbling with somebody and he was in the hole, right? He was in segregation. So then I'm out in population and I ended up getting to rumbling with somebody. Now I'm in segregation. You did? So while I'm in segregation, he in segregation, but he on one side and I'm on the other side. Now I told y'all in one of them videos about that, back then we could have these big old boom boxes, right? And I had that big boom box that you could put your tapes in. Yeah, we talking way back in the day. So yeah, we had tape players. So you could put your tape in. But the boom boxes that they had in prison, they would dismantle the boom box where you couldn't record. And now too, like I say, in retrospect, looking back, I know the reason why they did that because they never wanted the police to be recorded saying something that they weren't supposed to say or doing something that they weren't supposed to do. They didn't want you to have the, you know, the ability to record anything. Probably one of the same reasons now that they so terrified when people get phones in the penitentiary because, you know, a lot of things that's going on inside the penitentiary can be exposed. So that's why the phone is the number one breach of security in the prisons to this day, because you can see things that's going on in there, and you can hear things that's going on in there, and you can get it out to the public, and that's the last thing that they want, you know. So anyway, so I had, you know, you got them dudes in there, they geniuses, man. The white dudes, black dudes too. There's some dudes in there that's geniuses. You had dudes in there that knew how to go inside the player and reconnect that type of stuff, the recording. They could do all of that. You know what I'm saying? So and eventually, I think I had a boombox that I had won from somebody gambling or something. And the boombox that I won, somebody had already got him to, you know, dismantle it, and it could record. So I could record, you know what I'm saying? So me and Dixon was trying to conversate with each other. So the only way we could conversate with each other was to send notes back and forth through the house, man. You know, and I told y'all this in one of these stories about one of me and Dixon's stories. So we was doing that, but I had the boom box. So I started thinking, I said, man, he had a boom box, but he ain't had no record. So instead of me doing all of this writing, you know, which I ain't like to write, because at the time I already had the pen in my hand, so I ain't want to do no whole lot of writing. I used to record and answer what he wrote me, and I record my message and send it back to him, you know what I'm saying, on the tape, and the dude would take the tape over there. So whatever he wrote me, I would hit him back. But when I hit him back, I would record my message and send it to him. So I remember he was telling me that old boy had came on the compound that he was beefing with folk. And he said, man, he can't have the dude on the compound with him because he don't trust him. And dude talking about doing something to him, and he ain't trust him, so he gonna get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? So we using the words like that, get rid of him, but in our mind, we talking about like hurt him bad enough where, you know what I'm saying, he got to go up off of there. You know what I'm saying? Because like I told you, when something like that happened, when one of them real serious incident happened, either it be with the Bethlehem or whatever, then if dude don't tell, or even if he do tell, the chances is he going up off the compound, him or you, either or, somebody going up off of there. So that's what we was talking about doing. So he didn't have to tell me a whole lot about why they was beefing or what the situation was. All I knew is it was my brother. If he had a beef with him, he had a beef with me. Now I don't even know the dude. I ain't even never even seen the dude. I don't even know what the dude looked like. You understand? All I know is if you trying to hurt my brother, then I'm trying to hurt you. You dig? So that's how we was going. So he was trying to tell me like, yeah, man, he on the joint. And I'm hitting him back like, look, you sure you got to get him? I mean, is he a threat? Is he, you know what I'm saying? Is he? And he was like, oh, he got to go. You know what I'm saying? He got to go. So I'm sending him the messages back like, yeah, all right, well then, man, look, this is what we do, man. When we get out there, we in the building, we in the same building we is. He know you here. He just sent you a message of woo 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 or whatever. He trying to see you. So what you do is you holler at him and you tell him, look, man, come on up in the stairway, man. We can handle this, you know, man to man, woo woo woo. And you get him up in the stairway, and I'm gonna be somewhere, and I'm gonna pull up in the stairway, and we can just go ahead on and get him up off here, get him on out of here. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. Leave him right up there where he at. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I said on tape, right? So this clown, this the house man, this Bojangling and all that, we ain't know it at the time, but he Bojangler, you know what I'm saying, old Jeffro Bodine type joker. He done let the people, he claimed he let the people turn him off with the notes and the tape, right? How you let him do that? I felt like he gave it to him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I felt, you know, like he gave it to him. So anyway, man, we in sag, man. We in the hole. You dig? We already in the hole within a hole. You know what I'm saying? We in jail within a jail. And them people come around there, man, like deep. They come in that joint, man, and confiscate my boom box. Um, give me a charge and go over there to Dixon, give him a charge. They shake the cell down, go through everything, all this. And, I mean, you in SAG, you ain't hardly got nothing. You know what I'm saying? So this how they coming at us like we in population or something, and they coming like some crazy stuff. Like they looking for the Bethlehem. I'm in SAG, man. So then they come with the charge, and I'm looking at the charge. They tell me some conspiracy to commit murder. I'm like, man, what? Conspiracy to commit murder, man. And on top of that, they got dude's name on there. They talking about who he is. They done went and got him off the compound and locked him up. You know what I'm saying? Under investigation. So it's looking crazy, you know what I'm saying? And it's look crazy to other people. Like, how dude on population get locked up? It's like, you know what I'm saying? That could get misconstrued. People could think you back there and you said something about dude to get him locked up or something. That could be misconstrued, but he locked up and he under investigation. So you know that's the type of stuff he gonna spit out like, oh yeah, I'm back here and they done came and got me. Somebody tell me somebody gonna kill me. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. And you know that's them suckers back there. They you know what I'm saying? Cause they done put my name on his paperwork too. So he like boom, he knowing what he under investigation for. They telling them that somebody plotting to kill him. You know what I'm saying? So he don't even know me, so he don't even know my name. But now he just know my name, but don't even know like who I am. So just like I don't know who he is, cause I ain't never seen him. So he locked up, but he known he was a known dude, but not known to me, but he was known to other people. So he telling his people like that, yeah, man, these dudes tell me they gonna do. So now you may have potential enemies that you don't even know you have. I may have potential enemies that I don't even know I have because it's just dudes that rock with him, and now my name is in the mix. You see what I'm saying? So this stuff was crazy, man. So we at the time though, when you young and we was living the way we was living, I didn't even register the danger that I could potentially have been in. It didn't even register with me. I was just locked in on what we was talking about, what we had to do, and if we got out, this is how we was gonna handle the business. You know what I'm saying? Which when you look at it now too, you talking about being in segregation, in the penitentiary, and you trying to get out of SAG because don't nobody want to be in SAG. And then while we back there, we talking about soon as we get out, we gonna do something that possibly gonna end us back up in SAG and possibly end up getting us shipped off the compound. It's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But we won't. I mean, you know, we young and we just going off of testosterone and we going off of we ain't going for nothing type stuff. So we ain't even really worried about the consequences at the time. And to be honest with you, last time I'm talking about it now, if I look back on it in my mind, the consequences ain't even crossed my mind. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even crossed my mind. Only thing was on my mind was the mission to do what we had to do. But that's how you be moving when you young. You don't even think about what's gonna come behind it. You don't even think about what's attached to it, who attached to it. You don't even think about that stuff. I know I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think about it at all. All I thought about was if you trying to hurt my brother, you trying to hurt me. So you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. It was plain and simple to me. But now these people band down on us, and I'm looking at this paperwork and I'm seeing this stuff saying conspiracy to commit murder. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh man, these people get ready trying to, they trying to put us in the trick bag. I'm thinking some street charges coming out to this. You know what I'm saying? But even though I know what they saying is not true, but you got to understand if they say it, if they felt fit to write that charge, this is the narrative that they're gonna try to push. So this could possibly be ending up in some street court or something, and somebody could get a whole rack of time with it. Now I got a whole rack of time anyway. Dixon had a whole rack of time, but still though, I can make parole and he can make parole. So if you got that on your record and get that type of charge, man, the chances of you getting out, if you go on a street court and get convicted of that, man, you might not never get out. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like it ain't had me worried, because it did. It had me nervous, purpose, like I don't know what. I'm like, boom, now I can't even conversate with him. I can't get nowhere, to say, man, what's up with this, man? We can't do none of that because they done made sure that that's not even gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? If I can remember correct, they might have moved Dixon to another side, so whether he was even further away from me. But we weren't in the same block anyway. And said he was in one block, I was in another block. They had a whole building for just segregation. So it was just wild, man. And then I can remember, man, just being nervous about that Jones. Just then I started thinking about the consequences. Then I started saying, man, what these people trying to do? Because like I say, when whatever they say is probably going, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna go down the way they say it's gonna go down because the deck is already stacked against us. If they wrote the charge, this is what they really trying to convict us with. This is what they really trying to push. So I'm like, man, then I start trying to remember in my mind what I say in the joint. What did I say? I didn't say. I know. I ain't never used the word kill. I ain't never used the word kill. I ain't never used the word murder. I know that for a fact. I ain't say that. So I'm like, what? And then I'm thinking about, the letters and stuff that he wrote. You know what I'm saying? But which I used to take the letters and rip them up and throw them away anyway. So I think that too was probably what they was looking for when they came to shake the cells down. So they could get some more evidence. You know what I'm saying? But want no need to keep no letters. You rip them up and you flush them down the toilet after you read them. So I'm like, man, this is crazy as I don't know what. And so I remember they set it for us to go for the hearing, right? And it was crazy, man. I remember when I go to the hearing, myself, and they got me up in there and they just read the charge out, you know what I'm saying, which was crazy to me just to hear that in conspiracy to commit murder. How do you plead? I'm like, what? Say not guilty, straight like that. So then they started saying boom, boom, boom. So then they got to present the evidence. So they started to play the tape, right? So when they playing the tape and listen to what I'm saying, and they stopping the tape and they, well, what did you mean with this or this and that? I said, that ain't me. They said, oh, it's you. I said, no, it ain't me. How can you prove that that's me? You ain't no, voice analyst, no voice specialist. How do you know that's me? You ain't even hearing me talk till right now. How do you know that that is me? And subconsciously, right, I'm trying to, subconsciously, I'm trying to alter my voice as I'm talking now. Like, how you know that's me? That don't even sound like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it won't sound like me on that. But I didn't think it sounded like me anyway. But I'm knowing that it is me. But I'm telling them that ain't even me. Well, we know it's you. So what do you mean? Well, I said, how can I tell you what I mean when that ain't me? That ain't me talking. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line was they was going with, we know it's you. This is what you said. This is why we wrote this charge. This is how it's going down. You know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 convicting me, right? Which I knew they was gonna do anyway, just cause, like I say, you ain't gonna. Normally, when you go into just committed anyway, with any charge that any CO have written, you gonna get found guilty, no matter what it is, whether you did it or not. If they wrote the charge, they gonna always find you guilty. They gonna say based on the officer testimony, right? Because normally when you write the charge, you got to be, you know what I'm saying, you witnessed something or you seen something or whatever. Who witnessed this? Who seen this? Who seen me make a tape? How can you prove that that is my voice? All that's out the window. Guilty, right? And I don't remember what they gave me in the whole like 90 days or something like that. But it also means like, boom, 90 days could go longer than that. You're gonna be reviewed in 90 days, but you can still be back there. So that's 3 months off the rip, right? So it was just insane to me, man. And I'm looking at it now like, man, this on my record. These people that convicted me of conspiracy to commit murder for some letters and a tape. You know what I'm saying? And a tape, man, a recorded tape of somebody saying something about doing something to somebody. Ain't nobody mentioned the word murder. Ain't nobody mentioned the word kill. So, dude is scared to death, man. I'm scared. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, cause now in my mind, I'm like, man, these people get ready to take me to court. Because I'm thinking the street charge is coming next. I'm thinking they getting ready to try to take me to court. They getting ready to try to go down there, file a warrant, and try to take me to court. But also, too, I started thinking in my mind, like, well, I ain't gonna make no parole because I was already sold a lie that you ain't never lined up before, you might make first parole, all that. That was a lie. But it was still in your back of your brain that you was hoping and praying for when your time come up that you might make it, which, you know what I'm saying, we already know how that turned out. But in my mind at that time, only thing I was thinking about was that I possibly, you know what I'm saying, gonna go to court for this and get some more time, which what I was already in there for, getting some more time in the penitentiary for something like this, a conspiracy to commit murder. I'm thinking I ain't gonna never get out the penitentiary. and I ain't even do nothing to nobody. Don't even know what this dude looked like or nothing. So it was just insane to me, man. And I just sit back there in that hole, man, and I was depressed, and I was nervous, I was worried. I didn't know what they had did to Dixon. I didn't know. I'm almost sure he got convicted as well, but I didn't know. I couldn't know. It wasn't no way for me to know. So, man, I'm sitting back there, junk, man, just in awe, man, like, man, how I get myself into this? You know, how did I get myself into this? But that's how things be going in the penitentiary, man. And it was a crazy scene, man. But what made the junk even more crazier was, like, you know, we get through that, you know what I'm saying? We go through, you know what I'm saying, do the time in the hole, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think they shipped old boy at the time he got shipped off. So I never seen the dude. I never seen what he looked like. I never knew. I just knew his name. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that he opposed my brother. So he opposed me. But I never knew his name. But now when I look back on it, you know what I'm saying, I don't know who he knows. So when I do hit the yard, how I know his homeboys might not be plotting on me. How do I know who his homeboys is? How do I know what to look for? This is the type of situation you put yourself in the penitentiary. Once you got beef, you always got beef. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you may not know who you got beef with now, right? So it was a crazy, crazy thing. But like I say, when you moving back in them days like that, you moving as if you ain't worried about that. You know, those things don't cross your mind, which what? Means you in danger without even knowing you in danger. And that's what makes it the situation so crazy. But man, it was a wild time back then, man, and that's just some of the things that me and Dixon was going through. And then what makes it even more crazier, and I don't even know if I ever even discussed this with Dixon, right? But so now, being that we had this type of beef with the administration, and the administration have found us guilty of this, that, or the third, that's a serious charge. That's a class 1 charge. So they done put me on this dude's enemy list and him on mine. But I don't even know the dude. And I don't even know they doing that at the time, because at the time, I don't know how, you know what I'm saying, how this stuff works. But obviously the administration had put us on enemy lists with each other. So now I got a enemy that I don't know what he looked like, and I'm on the enemy list with him. You understand? So he is on my enemy list. I don't know this. I don't know nothing about this. Is administratively done. So the crazy part about it is, it was like years and years later, man, and I'm on a whole nother institution, and I'm in the hole again for fighting, and I'm in the hole right beside the dude that was on my enemy list. And I did not even know it, because I didn't really remember his name like that. You know what I'm saying? It was something that was in my head that boom, boom, boom. I remember his name from my charge, but I never seen him. I don't know what he looked like. And it could be you know what I'm saying? It could be just a name that sound like that. But we right beside each other. You understand? Right beside each other. And when the COs come to pass out food, trays, this, that, and the third, they'll call your name out sometime. Or they pass out mail, they'll call your name out. So he right beside me. So just like his name on my paperwork, my name is on his. So he know my name. So when he heard him call my name, he acknowledged that the dude that got a charge for plotting to kill me is right beside me. So I'm like, what is he gonna do? How this gonna shake out? We gotta come out. We go to the rec yard in a cage together on you know, when you're in segregation, right? And this dude is thinking that I'm trying to kill him back in the day, and now I'm sleeping right beside him, and I'm on his enemy list, and they don't even know it. And they don't put us on the same compound together, and in the same block, right beside each other, and we gotta go outside. Crazy.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years, yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.